Radio Rahim with Big John Fury. I have to say, Big and Fury, that might be a bit redundant. The Furies are massive. You are no exception. And at the minute, the Fury name is massive in boxing and in the world press. What's that journey been like for you, your son being on the forefront of everybody's mind, especially in boxing?
Do you know, I've never really thought about it because away from this kind of work I'm doing today, I don't really get involved with it because I get on with my day-to-day job and I live outdoors and I'm sort of isolated, so I don't see much of it because I don't have internet where I'm at. I don't have the iPhone on with me all the time because it's not part of my life. I'm not social media mad, so I don't really see much of it. I'm speaking to my son now at evening times because the fight draws closer, but let me tell you, it can't get any better for me. I'm having an Indian summer, and I know Tyson's done everything right this time. He's been sensible. He's had a sensible camp. The sparring's been explosive and brilliant. There's been a select few people there, what's needed to be there. I'm more than happy with what's gone on. No excuses anywhere.
Let me give you a report from the city while you've been out in the woods. You may not have social media, but boy, you're all over ours. You make quite the impression every time you speak.
Yes. Thank you.
I wonder if, you've had your boxing career yourself, obviously, and when you see these things happening for your son in the ring, do you ever think back to how you might have handled it yourself in your fighting days?
My son's achievements and accomplishments is the only things I could ever dream of. When I was boxing, I could only ever dream about being where Tyson is, or even halfway to where Tyson's going or been. So, I never got giddy. I had a day job to do. I was working. Boxing then was a hobby to me. But I was boxing men, what was doing full-time professional boxers, living in the gym. I was coming off a building site, car auctions. I worked all day and fought at night. But it was an hobby. I enjoyed it. I loved to fight. I loved the smoke, the crowds, the thrill of walking to the ring was my world title every time. And whether I won, lost or drawed, I did the best I could, but world titles and things like that, I used to go home dreaming about it, much to say, if only if I had more money, if only I had a better job, if only I could get a sponsor, if somebody's going to put some money into me, I didn't have to work, things might have been different. But you know what? All that stuff had to happen before to bring us where we're here today with Tyson, and that's part of a plan. It's a bigger picture, and it was always about Tyson when he was born, and could I have ever done what Tyson's done? Definitely not.
American fans may not realize the difference in lifestyle. Because we see you and we see your name associated all the time, we think you're in the camp. We think that you guys are there day to day. What's your day to day like, separate and apart from all this?
My day to day, listening to the birds whistle, having a fry up outside in the fire, going for walks with my dog, and doing little bits of jobs here and there to occupy my mind. There's nothing I want in life what I haven't already got. And I've been paid trillions and trillions on top of trillions with my son being where he is. The heavyweight championship of the world is the richest prize in sport. And I've got that in my heart forever. My name and my son goes down in history. That's all the payment I want. And a bit of health. And a bit of extended life to see him keep doing what he's doing. Because I enjoy every minute of it.
Now, what kind of fatherly advice do you give a son who, like you said, has far exceeded what your boxing career was, but he'll never succeed your age and wisdom? That's part of a father's crown, if you will. What is it that you impart to your son about the world that he's in from the place that you live?
Well, the thing is, you've got to live to gain experience. And he's only 33 years old, and he's not been through what I've been through in my lifetime. He's never dealt in the same lanes as I've dealt in different things. He's always been an athlete. Boxing has been his whole life. He's never ever done another job, only bits and pieces when he's a kid. But I say stay grounded, stay focused, because materialistic stuff doesn't last. What lasts is eternally is what's in your heart, and respect for others, and if you see people going wrong, if you can give them a word of advice, advise them in the right direction. Help everybody, speak to everybody, because you don't know, because you could be talking to an angel. And I'm a God-fearing man. I've got time for everybody. And if you said to me, Who do you want to have a cup of tea with? A millionaire or an oboe? I'd take the tea with the oboe every time, because a working class man, a sincere man, will help you. The millionaires won't. Their biggest problem is another 10 million on top of maybe the 100 they've already got, and they can't sleep at night until they succeed. But in Tyson's case, said, listen, keep materialistic stuff there, your accomplishments there, and your life here, the two separate things. And if you can carry on and focus yourself at being humble and being proper, never getting ahead of yourself, never coming across as being a clever dude, be liked. That's worth all the money in the world, isn't it? To be liked and admired. And people to say, you know what, even though he's acquired this, he's accomplished this, that and the other, he's still a nice guy. And then you're on a winner.
That's proven to be one of the hardest things for a world champion, especially in combat sport, to do over the years. Like, you get to a level like Fury, or world champion, the whole world's paying attention to you and hanging on your every word. And some find it hard to get back in the gym with that same fervor, that humility that you talk about. Do you have any concern that after 2 fights, where Tyson believes he's won both, in fact, and getting a stoppage in the last, that there's any chance he'll come into this fight without that same kind of hunger and preparation as he has the first 2 fights?
Absolutely not. Tyson's going out there next Saturday night like he hasn't got $10 in the bank, like he's not a champion, and he's as hungry to win it. In Tyson's mind's eye, he's going to win the title, not defend it. Because I tell him that every day. This is what you've lived and breathed for. This is what you were born to do. Forget about everything else. Concentrate on the fight. And there's one thing you can't take out of a man, is the fight in him. And he's a natural born fighter, and he loves the job more than all the money, all the glitz. All of them in the world can't doubt the fire, what's in Tyson's stomach and soul to win. And when he gets in that ring, that's all he wants to do is win. He goes in there like he's not ate for a month. That's how hungry Tyson is when he enters that ring, and that's why he's still a champion. That's why he's unbeaten. And like I said to him all along, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You know, so if you keep that in mind, to have the right people around you with the right mindsets and the right mental attitude to life, you'll keep going.
After the second fight, we've talked at end about the way Wilder responded to the result. It's understandable how Fury would be offended by the things that were said.
Absolutely. I'm still offended.
Fair. But in recent months, it does appear, at least publicly, I don't know personally, that Wilder has focused on training, has done less of that kind of talking anyway.
He needed to, didn't he? He needed to. It was absolute disgraceful behaviour. He tried to discredit Tyson every way possible. Does he deserve a third fight? In my eyes, no, he doesn't. Do I like him? No. I had a respect for him as a boxer before that, but his antics then, I can never forgive him. But he is what he is. You know, in life, you've got to have a little bit up here and know how to behave and have dignity in defeat to learn from your mistakes. The only way you can learn is if you take it on board and say, okay, I got it wrong. I effed up tonight. Go back to the gym, speak to your people and say, right, where did we go wrong? On that assumption, you'll go forward. But the way he's behaving, like a spoilt kid who's lost his rattle out of his pram, where are you going to go with that? Where are you going to go? And if he's still got that in his head, God help him Saturday night.
Those things are about personality and approach, and they're understandable how you feel. But when it comes simply to executing the task in the ring, ability-wise, do you feel that maybe Wilder this time is more up to the task than he's been in the first 2 fights?
Why would he be? He's older, you know. He's been out the ring 20 months like Tyson. He's got rid of the main man in his team, what I had a lot of respect for, Mark Breland. Mark Breland is one of the best trainers and the best fighters out there. You know, and to get rid of a man like that, the biggest mistake in the world. He's dropped the ball. Mike Scott is a yes man. He's just after the notoriety of being in the corner with a man challenging for the title and the next champion. He'd probably be getting well paid. But what I've been looking at, what they've been doing, doesn't fear me. It makes me happy and excited because I know Tyson he's going to absolutely blitz him again.
There is a very seeable situation where these two men will be opposite sides of the ring, Fury and Usyk. How does that matchup play out?
Well, let me tell you, Alexander Usyk, he knows how good Tyson is. He knows Tyson's the man to beat. And I'm telling you now, it'll be the greatest show on earth. It'll be the greatest show on earth. Believe me, because both men have got utmost respect for one another. Tyson knows how good Usyk is. Usyk definitely knows how good Tyson is. So that's what...
But, John, how does Tyson beat him?
Tyson beats him.
How?
Have you not been listening to me for the last 20 minutes?
All right. Before I let you go, I ask Fury all the time about legacy and what's most important to him, especially when these money negotiations are in play. And he'll always tell me none of it matters. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about legacy. When he's gone, he's gone.
You can believe it.
But I'm asking you, I believe that you might have a different feel. You've got your Fury hat on. I know this is your son. The Fury name means something to you. What kind of legacy do you want the Fury name to be left in boxing when your son is done?
I just want Tyson to be remembered when he retires as a true warrior, a man who gave 110% in every bout, a man what can come back from the dead and do the impossible, and a man what's helped a lot of people outside of boxing and still going to help long after the boxing's over. So yeah, just remember Tyson, respect him for how good he was and what he can do in the world as a good man, and that'll do me.
Well, you've been a good man today. I respect and appreciate your time.
I respect you and appreciate your time as well. Good luck,
Thank you.
brother.
Radio Rahim with Big John Fury.